Hi, I'm Chris Sikora, and today we're going to take a look at a review, a very basic review, not in all the details type of deal, on the new Radeon Pro W6400. And this is a professional graphics card with 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's intended for computer-aided design use, really. And I'll say right now, it does it pretty well. It only has 2 outputs. I did review a couple months ago regarding the T600 from NVIDIA, which has actually 4 outputs. I tend to see I don't really need those extra screens, so this one really is very nice. It's a bit faster, and we're going to take a look at that. So here's the box. Actually, I've already installed it on the computer, and that's what I have on there right now. So if you like unboxing, just to show you what it came, it's actually a very nice box, and it had some spongy, I'm sure, anti-static material that came in. There's a little sleeve with some instructions and such, and very well packaged. And I paid on eBay around almost $260. So, and I've seen it between that and $300. And it's only 4 gigabytes. So what we're going to look at here, right now my screen is at 4K. And I'm going to start up my CPU-Z so you can just see what I have on my computer here, as well as GPU-Z. All right, you can see I'm running a Ryzen 9 3950X on Windows 11. As far as the graphics, there's a confirmation there. And memory, I'm running DDR4, 32 gigabytes. Slower. And from here, from GPU-C, you can see some information. Now, what's interesting, normally you could go to lookup and it doesn't pop, it will pop up a screen that brings you directly to that card. Now, what I found interesting, it says, yeah, we couldn't find your GPU in the database. That's because it's just new. But if we take a look at databases, we could actually search for it and it does pop up. So W64, and there it is, based off the Navi 24. You can see it has 768 cores, and there's all the information that you would want to get off of this, and about where it falls in regards to compared to these other cards. Now, you can see the recommended gaming resolution, very basic information, but it says 1920 by 1080, and I did find that to be pretty much the truth with that card. Over here I have some screenshots I did of Cyberpunk. I ran the benchmark, and you can see here this was at 1920 by 1080, high resolution, and the average frames per second was about 29, which isn't great, but it's kind of playable, but you know, it's not fabulous, and I wouldn't recommend it as a gaming card. All right, so you could get much better performance from other cards. Now, when I bumped it up to 4K, so 3840 by 2160, you could see it was, and this is at low, which was really fascinating. I kind of was shocked at 3.77 frames per second, but you could see there actually, that's the minimum, but there were an average frames per second of 16. Now, as I bumped that up to high just to see what I got, you could see average frames per second when it was at high was at 7. So definitely not good for 4K gaming. All right, so let's take a look at how it interacts with some of the CAD systems that are out there. Oh, by the way, you can see here some of the specifications. The bus bandwidth is only 64-bit, whereas the T1000, which has 4 gigabytes, and it's on par with this, actually has 128-bit bandwidth. But there's some other things that this has. This has ray tracing in it, so I don't know if that matters to you, but for a game like some of the more modern games, I kind of like the idea that it's in there. All right, and so I have AutoCAD here. And you can see I have a simple bottle that it's exercise 9 that we do in AutoCAD. You can watch that video if you're interested in how that's created. AutoCAD really doesn't require any sort of special graphics card. It really does well with pretty much any graphics card that's out there from what I could ascertain. I know I've had some students who say sometimes they have some weird glitches, but It could be working on a tablet or something that's really old. So AutoCAD looks pretty good on there. Now Inventor, here's Inventor, and I have this set under View, and I have the visual style set to Realistic. And we could see this is a very simple part again, and it works pretty well. All right, no significant artifacts or anything like that. I did model in both of these with this card, and it seems to be pretty decent. I have exercise 1 and exercise 1 for both AutoCAD and Inventor now for 2023. And as far as Creo goes, and while we're waiting for that to pop up, we could go back here. We could have a little fun and see, let's try and add a bunch of these parts and see what we could do to slow it down. So let's see here. Let's go to New and Standard Assembly and place that part in there. Let's find it here, Inventor. It should be E2. There it is. Open that up. We'll just position it there. And we'll go ahead and let's say we want to like 600 something parts in there. We will go ahead and pattern it. Select the component. And then we'll position, oops. And we'll set it to a spacing of 3 inches. Or I'm sorry, no, that's spacing over here is 3 inches. And let's put in, we'll try 100. Okay. And overall, oops, going out of the screen there, but not too bad. I mean, actually quite well. Let's increase that. Let's go to 500. And you can see here, I think there's some, if I apply it, it will sit there and it'll run for a while. Let's actually set it down to 250. So the preview is what it's just doing there in 250. Not too bad, actually. Let's go isometric here. And so there you can see it works really well with most things. For a low budget card, it's actually phenomenal. I really like it a lot. The NVIDIA T600 that I have, I like that one too, but this one, it's just later and greater. That other one, the T600, is based off of the old, was it 1650 series of GeForce? Okay. Now, as far as Creo is the same thing. It runs pretty well with anything. Let's get E2 open here. You don't really need a fancy card for Creo either, although I always recommend it. And you can see here it's working really well. There's no artifacting. I don't have SolidWorks loaded on this particular computer yet. I'm waiting for the new release, so I didn't bother to load it up. And because I'm expecting 2022 in a couple months. But in Creo, it does look pretty darn good. And let's go to the shading with reflections. Turn off some of those other entities. And I'm not going to make multiple copies of this. You can see it runs very smoothly. Even an older graphics card, almost 5 or 6 years, is going to run this part just fine without any instance. Actually, a decade old would run it fine. All right, so there we go. And that's pretty much it with this. I didn't want to, I tried to do some screen capturing. For some reason, my screen capture isn't working with the software as far as video gaming. So this is about the best I could do. Well, I hope you enjoy that little taste of this new CAD card and some of those benchmarks. I really liked it, and have a good day.